And yes, turning to our first speaker in a world shaped by pandemics, by wars, by digital threats, the word resilience has become not just a buzzword being used here and there, but has transformed into a skill. So in the next talk, the Chief Technical Officer of CERT will explore how global disruptions are transforming risk management and why organizations must learn how to adapt faster than ever before. So ladies and gentlemen, let's make him felt wonderful and welcome here on the stage with your applause. Let's welcome to our stage the Chief Technology Officer at CERT, Mr. Dmitrijs Ņikitins. Welcome. The stage is all yours.
Thank you, Artis. Hello, everyone. So, the last 5 years, it's been a real roller coaster if we are talking about the resilience. But somehow we managed to survive, to adapt, and for everyone that story is completely different. And as in every story, there is a catalyst moment. For us, the catalyst moment to rethink how we are looking at our infrastructure at our resilience level was this one. It was the second week of the Ukraine war, 1st of March 2022, and Iskander missile landed on the Ukraine TV tower. We were sitting by our TV screens and we thought, oh, so if there is occupation, most probably they will target the critical infrastructure first. Why this is important for us and why that concerned us very much? Because that is a critical infrastructure holder in Latvia. We have more than 14,000 kilometers of optical network, so the backbone network serves all the critical infrastructure holders within the Republic of Latvia, starting from banking, health, insurance companies, e-commerce, logistics, and so on. And we have the widest data center network in Latvia, which we and our customers store their data to, which operate their business. To give a little bit more context on the situation and how our network was built at the time, we have to look at the map of Latvia and distribution of population within Latvia. So majority of the population in Latvia are living within the Riga region. So more than 800,000. So naturally, we've built our network with the biggest capacity within Riga region, or the core network functions, data centers, and so on. Of course, everything was redundant, and we have followed all the best practices. But is it enough during the war situation? So what can we do better? That was our first thought, how we can adjust our network. If we take the Riga city out of the equation, what should we do so that our network continues to operate in the same manner as with the core network within the Riga city? So after that, shortly we created a plan how we can adjust our network, reroute capacities, add additional equipment, and so on. And we've worked towards the plan to distribute the functionality and be more prepared for the situations like this if the critical infrastructure is being attacked. After the network, it was a time to look at our IT systems and data centers. Previously, geo-redundancy for us meant that we had the data centers on each bank of Daugava River. Each data center had 2 independent electrical power grids, 2 independent optical grids, and both banks weren't connected in any way with each other, so they were completely independent. And considering that Latvia are not very famous for the seismic activity or hurricanes, that was a bulletproof solution. So basically, in any case, in any scenario, we knew that this solution would work. But will it work in the situation when we are being attacked by some foreign nation? Well, we had to make some adjustments to that as well. Original solution for us stayed. We still have two places within the Riga with completely distributed systems, but we added the third option, and it was the location within one of European countries where we back up our systems outside the Latvian borders. In this kind of situation, when you are creating the backup plan or resilience plan, it's worth to consider and prioritize the services. How will you renew your operations? And for us, we had all the major system prioritization on business critical level. So basically, we knew which system have to be renewed first in the case of a huge crash. But in this case, when we are talking about extraordinary X hour, those systems have to be reviewed. So we were talking about the operational criticality. And first, we had to renew the systems which are ensuring that our services are being distributed to our customers, that all the critical service providers within Latvia start working, that we monitor the network, we know what's going on in the network, we can troubleshoot the network, we can fix all the faults. In everyday life, so one of the top priorities are business systems. For example, billing is one of the top systems which we have to renew pretty fast according to SLAs. In the wartime, we think that our customers wouldn't mind to wait for their invoice like 3 or 4 weeks if their service is working properly. The second one is it's very important to understand how fast you need to renew your service. So for each system, we have exact SLA, how fast we renew it, and from that comes the resources which we have to add or allocate for that procedures. So you overview all your infrastructure, and you understand what's the speed required, and what the resources required, and if there is no possibility to add additional resources, you need to replan it one more time. In this case, you end up with a clear action plan, how you are acting in a case of different wartime situations. After we took care of our network and IT systems, we started to think, what are the possible weak spots which can be targeted from the foreign nations to disrupt our everyday life and isolate us as a nation? And that was our gateways to the Europe outside Latvia. So we have reviewed all our gateways, and our goal was to keep our infrastructure as strong as a couple of cable cuts within the Baltic Sea doesn't impact our performance in any way. So in 2022, we started to add some additional connections to the outside world, to Finland, to Sweden, to Germany. And as we've seen, starting from 2024, that was the right decision, because in 2024, in some mystical way, some ships were starting to cut lines across the Baltic Sea. If you are our customers, you have noticed that during those cuts there were no service degradation. Everything was working perfectly. At some time there were even 2 different cuts of optical cables in Baltic Sea, but our service continued to operate on the highest level because the distribution of network was on a pretty high level. We added several connections on the land and on the sea, and we are balancing the traffic automatically. If something happening, then traffic is being rerouted, and users can continue to work and operate their everyday lives without any interruptions. In the past, we have 3 different events which are displayed on the pictures, which are kind of not connected between each other, but they have impacted our business operations pretty severely. The one thing, what they've done, they have disrupted the supply chains completely for the shorter or longer period of time. And in this case, so after the COVID, we've seen that some factories in Asia stopped completely, and we had quite huge queues for the equipment, and we had to wait. For example, we had the active order for laptops for our employees, which had to be delivered sometimes in 2020. The delay for that order, it was like 500 pieces of laptops. The delay for that order was like 1 year. Well, we had working laptops as well, so we could continue to operate. But for the critical systems, it's quite important that we know how to deal with the supply chain problems and how to manage the supply chains in these times. So for us, after we've seen what disruptions can be caused by different events, we adjusted our supply chain management policy. We are using the dual sourcing, so for the critical applications, we are looking for at least 2 vendors, how we can balance them out. If something happens at one vendor facility and their supply chains, we can easily swap them for another vendor. Of course, that's not the situation for every vendor that you can swap, but for the most critical parts and for the most critical services, you start to have stockpiling the reserves of the equipment just for a case of disruptions and to be able to continue operate with your service forward. The next thing which we are considering very carefully in our supply chain management is the geographical and physical risk factors. So we know that there are disruptions in the world in different places. For example, Israel is going to war with Gaza, with Iran, and so on. There is some unresolved issues within the China and Taiwan, which might impact the supply chains and so on. So choosing the new solutions, we try to account for the possible disruptions in the future and how we can ensure that we continue to operate and those events won't endanger us in any way. And the next thing, which actually the speakers were talking in the previous panels, the supply chain risks. So we are testing our infrastructure on daily basis, hardening it with various means. We are training our employees, but very often we leave our supply chain partners unchecked. We forget that they have the same access to our systems. We forget that we are installing their software without any checks. So in this case, we have to understand that we should deal pretty careful with the supply chain partners, because there are a lot of different examples how the compromised supply chain partner can compromise your infrastructure as well. In our case, for example, last year we've seen that example for our 2 customers. One company was encrypted by the virus, so all their servers were encrypted. And they've been sharing the file share server with another company, with their partner. So it went as a chain reaction. So the partner got their couple of servers encrypted as well because of the supply chain risk. Thankfully, the other one had better segmentation, and the virus haven't gone through all their network, through all their systems. But in any case, you have to check and then implement pretty severe actions against your partners as their potential external threat as well. After you have dealt with all those issues and prepared different resilience plans on how you operate in different situations, you have to remember that going digital might impose some risk. We've seen last week that AWS has pressed a pause button for pretty major service providers within the world. And now we are going digital with different systems. For example, majority of companies are choosing the CRM systems as a software as a service. And with the software as a service, you have to remember that you are in a passenger seat. You are not driving. You cannot influence anything. If there is a crash, you have to believe that the partner will react and fix the crash pretty fast. But at the same time, you need to understand and you need to remember that your business needs to be running ahead. So the resilience for the digital system is good, but what happens if the digital systems have disappeared? You have to have the operational plan for the offline operations as well. If all the systems disappear, does your shop still operate? Can you sell your items in the shops and so on? You have to create that plan as well. Even in a cloud era, offline contingency planning remains very, very crucial. When all the contingency plans have been created, you have to remember that in stressful situations, humans start to act very rational. Of course, if you do not have contingency plans, it's guaranteed that in event of crash, you will have complete chaos within your systems. But when you have the plans, you have to ensure that your employees are aware of those plans. You have to test them out. You have to do the drills for people to understand and remember those plans on the muscle level. Only in that way, if something happens, your business will continue to operate without any disruption. And drills and testing is good approach to test if those plans even work. So basically, sometimes things look good on the paper, but when you start to exercise them, they just simply do not work. For example, you have all the backups and you try to return system from the backup, restore system from the backup, and it doesn't go well. So at least during the situation when you can afford to make some fixes, you understand that, hey, I need to fix that, and my system still works. So measure all your contingency plans, learn how they work, and adapt if something don't work. Don't believe in everything which you have put on paper. Prove it in the real life. And, well, we won't have to have contingency plans if we won't have a simple, basic cyber hygiene, because we will be out of business much faster than we will be able to test those plans out. So patching the systems using the MFA, backup of our data, and training the employees, that's the essential things right now which have to be done on everyday basis. But on the other hand, the people who are attending this kind of conferences most probably do that anyway, so I guess I'm preaching to the choir on this one. But what is interesting regarding the patching, CVE scores, CVE vulnerability discoveries in the last 2 years have almost doubled. And if several years ago we had discovery of high CVE, critical CVE score with score vulnerability within our system, there was like a red light in the office that, hey, it's emergency, we need to patch it out, and so on. Nowadays, it's more like business as usual. We discover within the vendor applications critical vulnerabilities on an everyday basis, and it's very important to implement automation on a patching level to be able to withstand this pressure from the cyber attackers and malicious actors as well. As we've seen, the traditional risk assessment, which we have used many years before, doesn't work anymore. So for us and for majority of the big companies, the risk assessment was like reviewing the risks, naming all the risks once per year, updating the contingency plans, putting them on the shelf, and forgetting for a year. In the modern situation, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. We have the situation changing all the times. New risks, updated risks are coming, and you have to foresee what will happen in the next months, in the next 6 months, 8 months, and adapt your contingency plans to that. One of the examples from Latvia in the recent months was our disconnection from the BREL network. So that was the completely new event, and of course for the power grid disruptions we have our contingency plans in place. We know how to operate, we have diesel generators and so on, but this was a completely new beast with potential disruption of the whole country. So basically if something didn't go well, we had a possibility that the whole country might be without the electricity, or at least in our risk assumptions we acted that way. So we started the preparation for this event 3 months prior. We have tested all the equipments, all the diesel generators and so on. We ran the drills on the employees, how can we address the issue if it potentially appears. We have extended our autonomous power supply to 72 hours, depending on the object criticality. Before we had like 24 or 48 hour power supply. Now we extended it to 72 hours. All our service personnel, which was dealing with this kind of issues, was on a high alert during the night of the disconnection from the BREL. And actually I would like to say the huge thanks to them, because we had that ball during that night. So majority of the colleagues were having good time and they were drinking, but some of our colleagues were on a high alert and were ready to react and fix the issues if those issues appear. So this kind of adaptation is a new reality, and we have to look for potential risks which can disrupt our business on an everyday basis. But some of those risks actually come with the opportunities as well. So in Ukraine, we started to operate in Ukraine in 2013, and in 2014 there was Maidan revolution. And the first attack by Russia on Ukraine. So, but we stayed there, we supported our partners, we gained their trust, and we grew there. Into 2022, when Russia has attacked Ukraine with the full force, we try to help our customers as much as we can. So there was really non-stop actions from our customers and our employees. So we created different systems like Frankenstein solutions. We salvaged all the equipment from all the old equipment from our warehouses, created the private clouds for customers to be able to migrate from Ukraine to Latvia. We helped them transfer the physical equipment from Ukraine to Latvia, and One example from our customers, well, their servers were en route from the Ukraine to Latvia. They were like in Lithuania at the time. The missile has struck their offices and the premises where those servers were located like 20 hours ago. So the timely risk evaluation and action just saved the business of this customer. And after that, we took our lessons and we tried to understand how we can help our customers better, how we can adjust our infrastructure. We have added the additional locations for our TED-Cloud servers within Frankfurt, 2 additional locations, and customers from Ukraine really value that they can propagate the systems within Latvia and Frankfurt and be in a safety zone. And we continue to provide them services from abroad, which help them to analyze and improve their situation on the home ground. So in the conclusion, in case of emergency, if you haven't tested anything, most probably all your plans will perish and it will be complete chaos all around you. When the pressure comes, most probably you and your employees will fall under and rely on the muscle reflexes, and it's very important to exercise those and to remember what we have to do in a critical situations and what are our measures of resilience. Thank you. Be resilient and stay safe.
Thank you, Dmitrijs. That was a fantastic lessons learned from that presentation. Before you earn this little gift from us, a couple of questions from the audience. First one, what was the biggest challenge in implementing those cyber resilience measures? Was it management commitments, funds, skills, or what?
When you see the example of the war in your neighborhood, the management commitment is not an issue. You understand what should be done, but for example, changing the architecture is not so easy. It takes time, it takes a lot of investment and so on. So that might be the biggest issue. So we had like 3 years till now to prepare and adjust and so on. But if we would have like 1 year only, I would say that that would be really, really hard to do everything we have done so far. So we are adjusting, we are reviewing risks, so we are still trying to find our weak spots and act on them.
Speaking of adjusting from a completely different point of view, do your customers need to architect their software appropriately to be able to deploy it in a data center in Germany? Does it have to be changed in any way?
No, it's basically the same. So what we are offering is the public cloud, TED-Cloud services, and it's the same cloud extended to the Germany, and we offer for our customers the services in Germany on a private cloud. We can provide them the golden backups, the golden copies, and so on. So that's what we do, and there is no additional adjustments for sure. Okay,
maybe one quick one, if it can be answered quickly. From a business point of view, how do you plan this preparedness financially? Hardware costs money, services as well.
There are some things which you have to address even if they cost quite huge investment. We have a commitment towards our customers, and we are a critical infrastructure provider within the country. So there are critical service providers between our customers who rely on us. And if we do not do that, so what happens in case of, for example, wartime situation? What happens in the case which I've showed that Iskander missile strikes the infrastructure? We have to adjust to be able to provide our customers with the reliable service no matter what. So that's not non-negotiable on our part.
Excellent. Thank you, Dmitrijs, for these lessons learned, a gift of gratitude from our side as well. Thank you very much. I'll take that clicker. So, yes, thank you very much. That will come in handy to our next speaker.